New research from the Australian Strategic Policy Institute raises concerns about plans for the return of Rohingya refugees from Bangladesh to Myanmar. The Institute's International Cyber Policy Centre looked at the current status of settlements in the northern Rakhine State and concluded they wouldn't support a safe and sustainable return for the refugees. Elise Thomas is one of the researchers behind the report. She joins me now from Canberra. Good to speak to you this afternoon. Thank you for your time. You've been able to compile a series of images of the former villages of the Rohingya Muslims. What exactly do they show?
So what we did in this project is we looked at 392 Rohingya settlements which were mapped by the UN Satellite Agency in 2017 as having been destroyed, partially destroyed or burned during the 2017 crackdown, which displaced almost 1 million people from Rakhine State in Myanmar. And what we did is we took that data and we went through and we looked at satellite imagery of each of those 392 villages. And what we found was that over 80% of them, that's more than 320 settlements, showed no signs of reconstruction, and that is likely to be significant under recently amended Myanmar law, which may allow the government to take control of lands which are deemed to be vacant. In addition, we found that at least 40% of those villages had been razed, which meant that after the burning, someone had gone through with bulldozers and bulldozed the remains of the settlements and the surrounding vegetation. We also found at least 45 camps which had been either significantly enlarged or constructed since the 2017 crackdown. Some of those we believe are for internally displaced people within Rakhine State. Some we believe are for freshly displaced people, people who have been displaced in recent conflicts between the Myanmar military and the Arakan army, who are an ethnic militia group operating in Rakhine State. And some of them we believe are for potentially repatriated Rohingya refugees. In addition to that, we also found at least 6 what we believe to be military facilities being constructed on the sites of former Rohingya settlements.
Does that mean that, in your view, after looking at these images, you believe the Myanmar government is lying when it says that it is working towards repatriating the Rohingyas?
I mean, our position, I guess, is that as a think tank, it's not our job to make statements about the intentions of the Myanmar government. What we're saying is that from the evidence available to us, it doesn't appear that there are preparations being made for the return of 500,000 refugees, which is what the Myanmar government has told ASEAN that they are preparing to do.
And so, as you see it, this repatriation just can't go ahead because there are no homes for the refugees?
As I said, we're sort of not making statements about whether it can or can't go ahead, but we are making the observation that based on the research that we've done, based on the data that we've collected, the situation is not in place in Rakhine State to support a safe and sustainable return for 500,000 people.
And so what then is the immediate future for these refugees in Bangladesh?
I mean, look, it's a very, very difficult question. The Bangladesh government has been extremely generous with the Rohingya refugees. It's a very difficult thing for, a developing country like Bangladesh to have, again, almost 1 million people, 1 million desperate people arrive on their doorstep. And yes, it is a very, very difficult situation with no good answers.
Do you think the international community will have to come to the Rohingyas' aid, aside from Bangladesh, given the imposition you've just outlined?
I think that would be a positive outcome, certainly. I think our position is that there is a terrible information vacuum, particularly in relation to the internet shutdowns in Rakhine State. So since June 20th, the Myanmar government has actually ordered the shutdown of the internet in 9 townships in Rakhine State and neighbouring Chin State in relation to the ongoing conflict there with the Arakan army, which I mentioned earlier. And that is contributing to a lack of information about the situation on the ground in Rakhine State. And so our goal with this research is to try to help to fill that information vacuum so that policymakers and other stakeholders can have a really informed debate around what should be the best path forward to a safe future for the Rohingya refugees.
Elise Thomas, good to speak to you this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.